Tomorrow is the day the playoffs start. We have our New York Knicks taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. And even though the Knicks are the 2 seed and they worked hard for that seed, they earned it. They're still seen as the underdog going into this series. And you know what? I'm fine with that. That was to be expected. However, when people start speaking on the series and they start talking on the series and then they start severely underestimating the Knicks, that's when I'm going to have something to say. And it's just not one person doing that. It's multiple NBA players doing that, from current players to former players. We're going to break down exactly what they said and tell you why they are absolutely wrong. We're going to break down all of this and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. And make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. Paul Reed and other NBA players say the Knicks are an easy matchup for the Philadelphia 76ers. An easy matchup. Did you hear that? The New York Knicks currently hold the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. That didn't happen by accident. It happened because of the superstar we have in Jalen Brunson and the roster we put together. We've done this in large part without significant key players on our roster. Our 3-time All-Star in Julius Randle out for the rest of the regular season and the postseason because he had to have season-ending surgery on that dislocated shoulder. Mitchell Robinson only recently returned for the Knicks after he had ankle surgery to repair the injury that he had. Isaiah Hartenstein, our starting center after Mitch went down, was on a minutes restriction for so many games. So the New York Knicks were doing all of this with so many obstacles in front of them. Now, headed into the postseason, we're probably going to look more healthy than we've ever looked with this current roster that we have available. And that's good news for the New York Knicks. However, for the Philadelphia 76ers, I don't know why anybody would be so confident with them. Did anybody watch the play-in game between them and Miami, or was it just me? Because the Embiid I saw that night, the Philly team I saw that night, had so much luck from Nick Batum. Joel Embiid did not look like himself. That knee is clearly causing him issues, clearly giving him problems. He does not look like the same player. And that Philly team goes as he goes. They move as he moves. If he's not moving 100%, then guess what? Philadelphia's not going to move at 100%. Joel Embiid does not look like he's fully healthy. I would say he's what? Maybe 60%? 70%? So you're telling me this Knicks team that we have available, with our roster basically looking as healthy as it could possibly look, is going to go up against a hobble 76ers team with a maybe 60% Joel Embiid? What do I have to be worried about? Even more than that, why are people counting out the Knicks and severely underestimating them in this series, picking the Philadelphia 76ers over the New York Knicks? I'm not sure why, but Paul Reed, somebody who I had to Google because I had no idea who he was, he's going to speak about why the Philadelphia 76ers wanted to face the New York Knicks in the first round. Roll this clip.
Paul, you guys now will face the Knicks in the first round. Was there multiple conversations how we want to get this win to match up with the Knicks? You confident in that Knicks? And was it more that, or was it more to avoid the Boston Celtics in the first round to make this game so important last night?
Nah, man. I mean, I feel like we ain't ducking no smoke, but yeah, we wanted the Knicks matchup. Of course, that's the easier team, I guess. But, it's going to be fun. We match up pretty well with them. They got a great guard. We got a great guard. We also got Joel, MVP. So, like you said earlier, he's one of the most unstoppable guys in the league right now. So they're going to have to send triple teams, and he's going to get everybody else involved, I'm sure of it.
That was Paul Reed. And if you didn't know, and you had to Google it like I did, he plays for the Philadelphia 76ers. Didn't know that, but now you do. And he said that the New York Knicks have to fear Joel Embiid because, again, MVP level player. But I ask you, I have to fear the Joel Embiid I saw in the play-in game? That's the Joel Embiid I have to fear? And don't get me wrong, he came up great for them in the clutch. How is he going to fare against a New York Knicks team that's going to play him more physical than any team available in the playoffs right now? The Knicks are one of the most physical teams in the league. And he has to go up against this Knicks team with all of that physicality. Physicality, by the way, that they're allowing more of in the postseason. Good luck to the Philadelphia 76ers. Paul Reed is definitely confused. Now, listen, I'm not going crazy here. I'm not going to go over the ledge here. If you're asking me logically, between the Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks, which roster looks the best on paper, it's going to be the Boston Celtics. So if you said that, I can understand that. But that's not what he said. What he could have said was, Boston is a hard matchup, but the New York Knicks are also a hard matchup. But we're not ducking any smoke. We're ready for each and every team. That would have been a great answer. But he didn't say that, did he? He said the New York Knicks were an easier matchup. And shout out to him if he believes that, because I don't think that's the case at all. In my opinion, this Knicks team and the way we play is a very bad matchup for the current version of this Philadelphia 76ers team. We're not talking about a healthy Philly team. We're talking about a hobbled Philly team. And this hobbled team against this Knicks team, a physical Knicks team, is going to get bodied. Watch and learn. Everybody who's counting out the New York Knicks, they're going to find out on Saturday why the Knicks are nobody to mess with. And Isaiah Hartenstein, he clearly heard these comments from Paul Reed, and he said the following about them. That's what podcasts do. They get you comfortable, and then people just say shit. We're focused on us. Whatever comments they have, they have. And that's the perfect way to put it from Isaiah Hartenstein. New York, we don't care at all. We hear your comments. We're definitely going to use them as a motivating factor, but we don't care about them. And if you believe them, that's even more laughable. This Knicks team looks very, very good. And if you're looking at both teams right now, especially the way both of these teams look to close out the season, the New York Knicks not only looked good, they looked impressive. The Philadelphia 76ers started to look good, and then Joel Embiid injured that knee again. And then everything was a question mark. Then we saw the play-in game, and then we all can make our conclusions based off of that. If after that game you want to ride with the Philadelphia 76ers and think they're the better team, more power to you. But for me and my eyes and my basketball knowledge, I'm going to roll with the New York Knicks because they look like they're going to dominate Philly. Yes, I said dominate Philly because of the way they have the roster constructed and all the players they have available. And also the way Philadelphia looks as well, too. They are not healthy. We have to keep that in mind. And if this was the end of the story, maybe I wouldn't have done a video on it. But you know what? There's always more to the story. Draymond Green, who I have no idea why he's speaking, because what are the Warriors doing right now? Who do they play next? I have to look that one up. While I do that, roll this clip about Draymond Green and what he had to say about the Knicks facing the Philadelphia 76ers.
Because, as Paul Reed said, we ain't ducking nobody, but we wanted the New York Knicks. We think that's an easier team to beat. Paul Reed said it, I ain't say it, but the reality is we know the reality. The New York Knicks are way easier to beat than the Boston Celtics. In fact, I got the Philadelphia 76ers beating the New York Knicks because who gonna stop Joel? And like Joel took over every play down the stretch versus the Miami Heat in which we know probably will beat the Knicks too, but that's neither here nor there. Philadelphia 76ers will now take on the New York Knicks. And I got Philly for sure. Nobody stopping Joel.
Funny enough, the Warriors' next opponent is actually in Cancun because they don't face anybody. They lost in the play-in. Yes, the play-in. They were a play-in team. They lost their play-in matchup, and now they are headed to vacation. They are not headed to the postseason. So why Draymond Green is even speaking about this is beyond me. But you heard his comments, right? He didn't say that the New York Knicks were going to beat the Philadelphia 76ers. In fact, he said that Miami or Philly, whoever won that play-in game, was going to beat the New York Knicks. You see where the disrespect is? You see the difference? If he had just said the Boston Celtics on paper are a better team than the New York Knicks, there would be no argument, no conversation. But he didn't say that. He didn't even say anything like that. He just said Philly can beat the Knicks. Miami can beat the Knicks. And the crazy part about that is, if you really think that, then you have not been watching this Knicks team all season long. If you really think if you're really going to underestimate this team that much to not even give the Knicks a shot against a hobble 76ers team, I don't know what's going on with you. And Draymond, so you were watching the play-in game. Did you see what the score was at halftime? Because if I recall, the Heat were smacking the Philadelphia 76ers. Then I recall Jimmy Butler going down with a severe MCL sprain. And then after that happened, the game started to shift a little bit. And of course, Joel Embiid did what he needed to do coming down the stretch. Of course, did it in the clutch. Good for him. Can he do it in 7 games against the Knicks? Because I don't think he can. Can he deal with that physicality for 7 games against the Knicks? Because I don't think he can. You said who's going to stop Joel Embiid. I can name iHeart and Mitchell Robinson to stop Joel Embiid. You want to know why? Because he's not fully healthy. That's why he can be stopped. Here's a better question. Who's going to stop Jalen Brunson? Who's going to stop him? I cannot wait for playoff basketball. It all starts tomorrow for the New York Knicks, 6 p.m. You got to watch it because I know I will be. This Knicks team is going to be proving a lot of people wrong. And that also includes another person, a former NBA player, Charles Barkley. Barkley said the following about the Knicks on TNT the other night. Chuck, if I'm Embiid, we gonna beat the Knicks. We're better than the Knicks. Sixers, after Embiid/Brunson, have 4 out of the 5 of the next best players. Tobias Harris second. And then he thinks a little bit and says, oh, I forgot about OG. I guarantee that Chuck rooting against your team at this point is a good luck charm. So Chuck, thank you. Keep hating, keep rooting against the Knicks, because honestly, that's always where you've been. You've kind of always been in that camp. Sometimes you've given us praise, and I've heard that sometimes. But honestly, collectively, all of your takes have legitimately been bad about the Knicks, hating on the Knicks, not giving them props, and not giving them the respect that they absolutely deserve. And that is even more proven right now with these comments. The Knicks are a threat. We're a legit threat in the Eastern Conference. We can go all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals and maybe even farther than that. But you know what? Keep counting us out. We like it like that. You want to put us as the underdogs? Go ahead. Keep thinking that. We love to rise to the occasion, prove everybody wrong, and let you know why New York is here, why we're doing this for Julius Randle, and why with all of these motivating factors headed into the postseason, we are going to be one of the toughest teams to eliminate in the playoffs. But good luck to Philly. Good luck to you guys if you believe that you can defeat us. Because I can tell you one thing. Everybody in New York believes that we can beat and dominate you. But what about you guys? What do you think about these crazy comments made by Charles Barkley, Draymond Green, and yes, Paul Reed, who again plays for the Philadelphia 76ers, basically stating they wanted the New York Knicks because they were the easier matchup and the Knicks are going to get beat by the Philadelphia 76ers. Let me know in the comments below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans. Peace.